Buongiorno and benvenuti to Tortellino time. I've got in front of me the remaining of a bag of small bell peppers. Yeah, to give you an idea, I can squeeze them in one hand almost. Some red ones and some green ones. And I thought it'd be a wonderful idea to make a frittata di cipolle and pepperoni, which is a peppers and onion frittata, one of my favorites. But also, I'll show you what you can do with peppers and with onions as a side dish. But first things first, I'll go and give this a quick rinse. I'm going to use my air fryer to cook these today, which is slightly more economical than the oven, but of course you can also use the oven. I mentioned onion, so I will be adding one white onion and also a couple of red onions in there too. And just as they are, I'll pop them in the air fryer, but there is quite a lot in there, so I'll cook them for about 25 minutes, 200 degrees. But I'll split the cooking into two different phases. 12 minutes to start with, then I'll show them to you anyway. I'll turn them around and then I'll cook them for the remaining time. If you don't have an air fryer, you can do them in the oven, as I said before, in which case still 25 minutes, 200 degrees, and then give them a toss halfway. Halfway point, I did say I was going to show you what they look like, so here we are. Air fryers pump air from the top down, so they need to be turned around, otherwise they will not cook properly. So you can see that this is still not properly cooked, but the skin in here has changed already, because clearly that's the top, that's the bottom. So turn them around and they will be fine. But as I've been slightly naughty and I've put more than what I should, I think I will increase the second half of the cooking time to more than 13 minutes. So they'll go in for another 18 minutes and then they will be properly cooked. And I'm ready and everything is beautifully roasted. Look, this is one of the peppers and here is the onion. So you'll have to judge it depending on how big your air fryer is, but also the size of your vegetables. So I'm going to show now you a little trick to remove the skin from the peppers, which is absolutely effortless. I'm going to use this glass bowl, and whilst they're still piping hot, I'll move all of the peppers inside it. You might be able to see the steam coming up. I've got this little plastic cover which perfectly fits at the top of my bowl. I press it down and I will create a seal for me. You could use any plastic food container or metal, whatever you might have available, or a plate on top of the bowl. But do avoid using plastic bags because they could release in contact with the heat some nasty chemicals which you don't want in your food. But just to show how good this is, if I just lift it, put my hand underneath in case come off, see I'm lifting the entire bowl because of the seal created, which is perfect. And I will leave them to cool down for a good 15 minutes. During that time, the peppers will gradually cool down, but the steam will soften up the skin and that will peel off incredibly easier. I'll show you when they're ready. But I do not need to do this with the onions, so they will peel off very easily as they are. In the meantime, whilst the peppers cool down, I'll get some of the other ingredients ready, and I'll start with some eggs. I always make my frittatas in the oven, in a skillet, but you can also use a normal frying pan. And over the years I've experimented the number of eggs and I have found that 8 is the magic number for me. I'm keeping this recipe very simple, so I will only be using basic ingredients. I just added some salt, and this is pepper, and using a fork I'll go and beat all of my eggs. Anything between 15 to 20 seconds is plenty. I grated some cheddar earlier and I'll add a generous couple of handfuls, and I'll go ahead and mix it with the egg. On the onions front I will be using these two little red ones as part of filling for the frittata, as they are sweeter and also more colourful. The white one will be part of a side dish. They have cooled down slightly and they're safe to touch, so I'm going along and removing the outer layers and anything that looks slightly burnt like this. They've been out of the air fryer for about 5 minutes, so it doesn't take long for them to cool down. You might be able to see some of the steam coming up. They smell absolutely wonderful. Okay, let's get rid of the rubbish, and I will be slicing them lengthwise like this. And there is a little bit more steam coming out, but as I'm slicing them in smaller pieces, they will cool down considerably quicker now. With the white one, I want to retain the skin because it will look quite good on the plate. So I'm gonna use a steak knife to cut it in half, as it is easier. Just like this. I'm gonna sprinkle a little salt, some pepper. I will be applying a little olive oil and vinegar in a moment, so I'll just make a few holes to ensure that they filter through. Here comes the oil. followed by a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar. As soon as I put the balsamic vinegar, because there's still some heat, there's a beautiful smell coming up, which is great because that heat will also help the olive oil and the balsamic amalgamate together with the onion, and they will marinate. So these are done. I'll put them on one side, and next we're going to wait for the peppers. Earlier I mentioned that I'll be using a skillet for my frittata, which I'll do in the oven. And this is a little trick which I use whenever I do also Yorkshire pudding. I apply a little olive oil all over the surface and the side of my skillet like this. I've just turned the oven on, and it will eventually reach a temperature of 200 degrees. I'll go ahead and put my skillet inside it. Let's move on to the peppers next. And look how wrinkly they've become and how easy it is to remove the skin now. Very, very easy. This is a little trick which my mum taught me. We would have a barbecue, say in the evening, and then there would be some fire left, and she would put some peppers and also some eggplants on top of it and leave them to cook for about half an hour, whatever. And then she would put them inside a container and leave them overnight actually, and she would do this the following morning. The longer you leave it, the easier to peel, but we want to make a frittata. And also this is one of those jobs which I really enjoy doing. It's weirdly satisfying. It's something that I love doing, removing the skin from peppers. Anyway, I'll do the rest and I'll see you in a minute. And I've just finished peeling them off, and I'll keep a red one and a good looking green one for later alongside the onions as a side dish. And these ones now need to be cleaned on the inside, as there will be some water and also quite a bit of seeds. I'll show you with this one. If I open it up, there's quite a bit of seeds in there, and quite a bit of fluid as well. See, it's collecting on the bottom of my bowl. So just remove as much as you can. Just take the worst off and that'll be fine. A few seeds will not harm, but if they bother you, just put them under the cold water tap and they all will go. And using my steak knife, I'm going to slice them all, similar size to what I did with the onions. So here is my egg. I will add all of the onions next, followed by my peppers. And as added flavour, I will be putting a handful of parsley. And I'll give everything one final mix. My very hot skillet is just out of the oven, and I'll pour all of the mix inside it. But before it goes back in the oven, I'll just give it a quick spread. And as I mentioned before, temperature 200 degrees, 18 to 20 minutes. If you do not have a cast iron skillet, or you do not fancy using the oven, you can still use the hob. Use a frying pan, one like this, apply a little olive oil on top, make sure that, like I did, you cover all of the edges as well. Put it on the hob, make sure that the oil is nice and hot, then you pour in the mix and put the lid on and put it on the hob for about 10 minutes at a medium to low temperature. And because you've got the lid on, the steam will also cook partly your frittata on the top. After 10 minutes, take the lid off and take a good look, and you will see that the top of your frittata should be a little bit cooked. Then get a plate, one of these, put a little olive oil on top, put it on top of your frittata like so, and then you turn it like this, and you will see that the bottom will definitely be cooked. And because you've got some oil at the bottom of your plate, you can easily slide it and put the lid back on and let it cook for another 10 minutes. Make sure that you do not rush it or you turn the temperature up, because it's very easy to burn the bottom, and you will achieve a very, very similar outcome. With my two peppers, I'll do exactly the same as to what I did with the onions, but I need to remove the seeds and the water from inside first. But purely, mostly from an aesthetic perspective, this time I will ensure that I remove the majority of the seeds. I'm now slicing each pepper into quarters. A little salt once again, pepper, drizzle of olive oil, and just like I did with the onions, a little drizzle of balsamic vinegar. I'll give them a little mix, and this is side dish number 2 ready. Okay, and bang on time, and my frittata is done. It's looking absolutely beautiful, but it's really, really hot, so I will leave it for a good 10 minutes. During this time, the frittata will shrink slightly, and it will be considerably easier to remove it from the skillet. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
That sounds lovely.
So after 10 minutes, it's also safe to touch. I'll see if I can remove a slice without making a mess. Earlier I mentioned that it would shrink, and you can see what I mean. Look, it's very easy to go on the sides, so this should also be very easy to remove it as one if you wanted to put it on a dish, but I just want to remove a slice. The reason why it's a big slice is because I want to make this the picture for the thumbnail, so I'll move into this dish here like this.
Oh, nice. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Let's have a look in here. Can you spin that round a little bit for me?
There you go, look, you can see the inside of the peppers and the onions, looking beautiful. I just want to give you a little demo. Look, can you see how easy it is to move it? So that will come off very, very easily. And because I put that oil at the beginning, nothing gets stuck. It's absolutely perfect. And before I leave you, I'll just taste some to see what it's like. And if you fancy frittatas, there are lots of frittatas in my frittata playlist, including a very similar frittata to this on the hob. I mentioned tag, so you can have a look at that one. Look, it's still hot. It's perfect, and the colder it gets, the tastier. But like this is also wonderful. I'm really enjoying this, and I will love it for dinner later when it cools down. Well, hopefully you will make it, and if you get a chance to do the onions and the peppers like that, they'll be perfect as well. They're delicious, very healthy, all very, very healthily cooked as well. Nothing is fried, it's all done in the oven, and wonderful. Arrivederci, grazie, buon appetito, and if you like the channel, subscribe. It would be a shame not to. Ciao ciao!